He was already inside me, buried deep, his whole body trembling as he moved. Not fast, not rough, just slow, steady, deliberate, like he didn't know if he had the right to keep going, but couldn't make himself stop. His hands pressed into the mattress beside my shoulders, arms shaking, breath caught in his throat. I felt every inch of him, felt the weight of what we were doing, and still I pulled him closer. My legs wrapped tighter around his hips, my fingers digging into his back, pulling him deeper as he groaned low against my skin. I didn't ask him to stop. I didn't want him to. His forehead rested against mine. Our breath tangled in the space between. His lips brushed my jaw when he whispered, "You don't know what this is doing to me." But I did. I knew exactly what it was doing. I just didn't care anymore because I wanted it to badly. I never imagined I'd cross this line. Not with him. Not with Ryan, my best friend's ex-husband. A man I'd known for nearly 20 years who used to sit across from me at dinner tables and backyard barbecues, whose arm once draped over the shoulders of a woman I loved like a sister. And now he was here inside me shaking, and I was taking advantage of every inch of it. I'm 41, single, divorced, no kids. Most days I'm content with that. Most days I tell myself I made peace with being alone. I keep my house clean, my wine stocked, my dating apps deleted. I volunteer at the library. I text back late. I pretend I don't notice the quiet. But Ryan, he made me notice everything again. It started with a favor. Claire, my best friend since college, asked if he could stop by to pick up a box of her things I'd been storing since their split. She didn't want to see him. Said it was easier if I handled it. Said it was just a box. I should have said no. But ID and single quotes T. He showed up at my door looking tired, older than I remembered, but somehow more real than he ever did when he was with her. His hair was a little longer, his eyes softer. He smiled like he wasn't sure he had the right to. We talked. It was supposed to be 5 minutes, but 5 turned into a glass of wine, then 2, then 3. We didn't mention Claire much, just skirted around her name like it stung both of us for different reasons. That night, nothing happened, but the shift was there. I felt it in how he looked at me when I laughed, in how his knees stayed close to mine on the couch, in how I caught myself brushing my hair before opening the door. He came by again a few days later, claimed he left a charger. I knew he hadn't, but I let him in anyway. This time, we didn't sit far apart. This time, our arms touched. This time, the silence between us wasn't awkward. It was thick, charged, waiting for something to snap. And it did. He kissed me, soft, careful, like he was testing whether I'd let him. I did. He pulled back like he was about to apologize. But I leaned in and kissed him harder. My hand found the back of his neck. His fingers tightened around my waist. His breath hitched like he couldn't believe what was happening. Neither could I. We didn't make it to the bedroom that night, but the next time we did. And now his body is pressed into mine, his hips moving with a rhythm that feels desperate and uncertain all at once. Every time he sinks deeper, he shudders. His lips part like he's trying to breathe through the guilt, but it's tangled up with the want. I arch toward him, my skin burning from how closely we're pressed together. My heart's pounding so hard it drowns out every voice telling me this is wrong. His name slips from my lips, not as a question, but as a need. He exhales, shaky, barely holding it together. I shouldn't be doing this, he murmurs, his voice cracked and raw. Then don't stop, I breathe back. His mouth finds mine again, desperate and open, his body pressing deeper as if to answer me without words. And in that moment, I know this isn't a mistake. It's a choice, a selfish, hungry, irreversible choice. When we finally stop moving, his chest still heaving, he doesn't pull away. He stays inside me, resting his weight on my body like he doesn't want to let go. Like letting go means facing what we just did. I stare up at the ceiling, heart hammering, breath shaky, skin still tingling from where he touched me. My thighs ache, my lips are swollen. And I already know this isn't the end. Because now that we've crossed this line, I won't pretend I don't want to cross it again. And if you're still here, still listening, then maybe part of you understands what it's like to crave something you're not supposed to have. Maybe you've stood at the edge of a decision and stepped forward anyway. So stay with me because this story only gets more dangerous from here. And if you want to hear more true confessions like mine, the kind most people are too afraid to admit, then like this video, subscribe, and keep watching because I'm not done telling the truth. It's strange how quickly you can get used to doing something you once swore you never would. After that night, I thought I'd feel disgusted with myself. I thought I'd cry in the shower or stare in the mirror and not recognize the woman looking back at me. But that didn't happen. What happened was this. I started waiting for him. I didn't plan it. It just happened. I'd move a few things around the living room, set a second wine glass out on the counter without thinking, clean my sheets a little earlier in the week, wear softer clothes that felt good against my skin. He didn't come over every day. Sometimes it was a full week between visits, but when he did, it always felt like something more than a casual drop-in. He never stayed long, an hour, maybe two, but it was enough to stir something I'd buried years ago, something lonely and hungry and still very much alive. Ryan wasn't charming the way younger men tried to be. He wasn't slick. He didn't flatter me with lines or compliments. He was quiet, thoughtful. He asked how I was doing and actually listened when I answered. And that undone me. You spend enough years being invisible, especially after 40, and the smallest bit of attention feels like sunlight on a house that's been boarded up too long. I didn't realize how much I missed being looked at, not glanced at, not tolerated, seen. Ryan saw me, and I don't think he even meant to. Claire used to say he was too distant, too practical. She wanted someone who'd sweep her off her feet. Someone spontaneous and romantic and loud. Ryan wasn't any of those things, but he remembered the little stuff. He brought her favorite coffee without asking, noticed when her car tires were low, picked out the birthday cards that actually meant something. I used to think she didn't appreciate that. Now I realize I did. One afternoon, he came by to drop off an old cookbook she'd forgotten. I opened the door, and he was just standing there holding it like a peace offering. She probably doesn't want it. I said, I know. He replied, but I thought you might. I blinked. Me? You used to talk about this one. That pasta you made. What was it called? Tagliatelle with lemon cream. He nodded. That one. It was good. I hadn't made that dish in years. I took the book from his hands and felt my fingers brush his. He didn't pull away. That night, I cooked it. And when I sat down to eat, I texted him, "You should have stayed. Would have been better with company." He didn't reply right away. I didn't expect him to. But 20 minutes later, he rang my doorbell. He ate with me, quiet, grateful. Said nothing about the last time we'd seen each other. But everything about the way he looked at me said he hadn't stopped thinking about it either.